everyone. We have a little bit of a shop my stash today. Most of the products that I'm currently wearing are products that are in my collection, some of them quite old, and 2 new products that I wanted to introduce you to and incorporate them with some older products so you can do the same at home. So let's first talk about the older products that I have on my face. So currently I am wearing a quad from Tom Ford, which used to be one of my favorites. It's still a favorite, but I don't pull it out as much anymore. It's Golden Mink. Golden Mink is a very simple quad in a way. There is one matte shade, this brown shade. Then this shade here is a satin, and these 2 shades are shimmers. Similar to the Peach Glamour, actually, has a similar look to it. This one is a little bit more neutral in tone than the Golden Peach, the Peach Glamour. The Peach Glamour, I do think, has more warmth to it. I wouldn't say this one is necessarily cool. I think it's pretty neutral. It depends on really like how it goes on you. On me, I think it stays relatively neutral. I don't think it's particularly cool. It's not like a Cocoa Mirage, but it definitely has more of that shimmery, neutral, everyday kind of tone to it. It's really a beautiful quad. I am actually hoping that Tom Ford is heading in that direction with their new quads, Olive Smoke and Peach Glamour, because they have a similar look to this, which is elegant, easy to use, but not overpowering or difficult to mix. I would also say that the older ones like Golden Mink have this shimmering quality to many of them, which I always really liked. It's kind of almost an ethereal kind of look. It's hard to capture exactly what I mean, because I think when you first look at it, it will look like shimmer, but it doesn't have the properties of a shimmer. It doesn't fall all over your face. It's not difficult to apply. I use my fingers, and I feel like it doesn't give a lot of pigment or coverage, but adding it to a look can just change the look entirely. It's similar to something that like Suku would do. So this is a Golden Mink, and again, if you can get your hands on some of these older ones, I doubt you can get your hands on Golden Mink. It's been a while, but hopefully the new formulas from Tom Ford are headed back in the right direction. On my face is Sisley Bronzer. This is the Sisley Bronzer. My understanding is that this is still the only bronzer that they have. I don't think it's changed, but you know, you never know. Sun Glow Bronzing Gel Powder. This is an amazing bronzer. I've had it for years. I've barely made a dent. It is a glow bronzing gel powder. It's incredibly easy to use. The thing about this particular product is that it is definitely warm leaning, and I don't remember them coming out with something that is cool leaning. I love the Sisley products. I hope they do come out with a cooler bronzer. I would wear it all the time. But this one is, as you can see, very bronzy, very gold. But if you're somebody who's looking for that, this one's excellent. And honestly, you could buy it and probably not have to buy another bronzer maybe the rest of your life. It's I don't know exactly what the properties are in these powder gel formulas, but they just last forever. And especially for someone like me, I don't need a lot. So it's gorgeous. I just need a different shade. But today I was doing something a little bit warmer, so I was like, okay, it's fine. Plus I wasn't wearing a lot of bronzer on my face. The blush. This is the Dolce & Gabbana Solar Glow Illuminating Power Duo in Tender Apricot. This does not exist anymore. I have this one, and then I have one that is a pink and white. And I also want to mention that because you all out there are the best people on the planet, a bunch of you reached out when I was talking about these, the Dolce & Gabbana Solar Glow products, and the Chantecaille Mare shade, and offered to send me the Mare and other things. And there's a couple of you who have sent me the Mare from Chantecaille, which I will do a video with in comparison to the new Chanel, Dolce & Gabbana powders, lipstick, a old Chanel quad. I mean, just incredibly kind of all of you to do. And I'm happy to mention names, but I didn't know if those people wanted me to mention names, so I'll just say this for the moment. Thank you to everyone who has reached out. Same about the Saint Laurent blushes, and some countries have them and some countries don't. I really do appreciate greatly everyone reaching out and offering to either send them to me or buy them for me, or, you know, whatever it is. I really, really do appreciate that. And sometimes I forget to get back to people because I'll be honest, my brain, I'll remember something for a little while these days, and then it's gone. And then I go to try to find the person and I can't. So if I haven't gotten back to you, I truly do apologize. I try to write these things down, but sometimes it's been a hectic 2 months, actually. I mean, you know how things go. On my lips, I have the Tom Ford, as you probably know if you've watched me for a while, these are my favorite lip liners in Mercier, which is a very pinky, neutral shade, works very well on me. It's probably like 2 shades darker or deeper than my skin tone, so it works perfectly as an outer lip liner to make my lips look a little bit bigger. You've probably seen the new Rhode ones, which is by Hailey Bieber. I've never used Rhode, but if you get a creamy, settable lip liner in a shade, 1 shade, maybe 2 shades deeper than your lip tone, you can actually just do the exact same thing with any lip liner. It's just a matter of keeping it so it doesn't look like you have a line outside your lips, and it also has to be something that's creamy enough that it doesn't, you know, it's not harsh. The Tom Fords are excellent. And then the lip color that I have on is not a new lip color, but it does come in new packaging. This is called Camellia. I'll put it on the back of my hand so you can see the shade. It's a beautiful shade. It is a pinkier coral shade, and it comes in the new packaging with the Valentine's Day set. So if you really love the Valentine's Day lipstick and you're like, oh, I love the limited edition packaging, but you weren't sure of the shade, this is Camellia. It really is beautiful. It's like a rose, but it's a very deep, deep rose, and it looks good on practically anyone because, as I said in the video where I talked about peach tones and corals, this is kind of like a coral shade. So it's going to brighten up your face. It's going to work on a lot of different skin tones. It's not warm. It's not cool. It's kind of a neutral. It's a good choice if you're looking at that limited edition lipstick case. The Camellia is the one that comes in it, and it's really pretty. Just to double check, it's number 5 in case, you know, for some reason some site has a different lipstick in it, but I doubt that's the case. Mascara is the new Dolce & Gabbana mascara. I've talked about this before. I really like this mascara from Dolce & Gabbana, but it is one of those things that you have to be careful with. It is a very thin brush. It is a spiky brush, but it is a slightly curved brush. It is a great lengthening mascara. You can very easily lengthen out your lashes with this. It has like little teeny combs. It gets everything. If you're somebody who has, I would say, shorter lashes, this is excellent. It's not really buildable. Once it sets down, it's pretty, like, it's not dry, but you know, it's not like you can't build on top of it. It gets flaky. But I really do like the mascara. It's not my favorite mascara because I tend to like volumizing mascaras instead of lengthening ones. But if you're somebody who does like that, I think it's a really good choice. On my eyes, so I've been feeling, like I said, it's been I don't go into like a lot of personal details to bore you with, but it's been a difficult couple of months. Just some other stuff that's been going on. And so finally I'm like catching up on like sleep, rest, blah, blah, blah. And so I'm still feeling just a little bit tired and run down. So I look a little tired. I mean, I'm aware. So I'm using 2 things today. One is the Sweed Beauty pencil. It's not a whitening pencil because it actually is more like pink, but you use this to brighten up your eye. You put it on the inner line of your eye. Now, the reason I don't use a white pencil, white can look really harsh for most people because most of the time the white of your eye isn't white. The white of your eye is pink, cream, beige, sometimes red, depending on how you're doing. But if you use a white, it can be very stark. That can look great in an editorial look, or if you're going for something like specific, like a a mod kind of look, you know, in the flappers, or like in the 60s where they had the long painted lashes with the white. That's a look. But if you're doing something that's trying to make you look like you're more awake, you know, brighter, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. I would go with something that has like a peach or a cream or a pink, because it actually looks more realistic and gives you more brightness in your eye. I would also suggest something like this from Rare Beauty. This is my favorite. This is an eye brightener. It's not a concealer. Remember the difference. A brightener is something that has either reflecting particles or some kind of a luminizer that is going to brighten up that area of your face. This one has this beautiful silver ball at the end, and I call it beautiful because what it does, because of the nature of what it is, it's metal. It actually is very cooling, and when you are somebody who, you know, is got allergies or every sinus infection under the sun lately, this is an incredibly comfortable feeling. You're like, ah, that feels nice. And you can just massage it back and forth under your eye. And it does really, it cools, and it actually can depuff because you're actually sort of pushing out fluid. So I sort of massage it in a little bit like that, and then I just pat and look up. I tend to make funny faces with my mouth. And you can see how brightening that is. When you do it, just make sure that you get a shade that is a little bit lighter than your under eye, but not a lot lighter. If it's a lot lighter, it can just emphasize the lines and make it look worse. But if you get something that's brightening, it has a brightening effect to it. Like I said, I really like the Rare Beauty. I think it's my favorite. Yves Saint Laurent has one that's been out for forever. In fact, I think they're probably the, if not the first big brand to do it. They work wonders. They definitely make you look more awake. And if you have puffiness, or if you feel like you have dark circles or something, I think it's an excellent product to use. I like the Rare Beauty. That's really my favorite one. Okay, now let's get to the new products. So first on my eyes, this is by Jones Road. Technically, I guess it's not really new because it did come in a, you know, like one of her limited edition sets, but this is the gel eyeliner. And Jones Road was kind enough to send me this. So they sent me brown and black. It actually comes in 4 shades. It comes in brown, black, violet, and navy. I really want the navy one. It is the Precision Eyeliner Brush and the gel liner. And you can see me putting it on, and then I'll close my eyes. You can see the look. These are really good. I am not somebody who wears gel liner very often because I don't want to spend the time putting on a gel liner, and whether it's in a pen like a liquid liner or a gel liner, it is more difficult than a pencil. It always will be, because you have to be more precise. A pencil is easier to use for most people. For most people, handling a brush and dipping it into a gel or powder is more difficult. However, it kind of goes in stages. Pencil's the easiest, eyeshadow with a brush, gel eyeliner with a brush, liquid liner with a brush. This, however, falls in between, in my opinion, between the pencil and the eyeshadow, because the thing about this is it's super creamy. It is actually really easy to use. I'm pretty impressed. They gave me a brush, which you can buy. But you can buy this brush, type of brush, from anyone. It's a really tiny, relatively stiff, angled brush, a really tiny one. But it's not so stiff that it hurts your eyes. That's the thing that I would say about this one, that I would be careful about other ones, because sometimes they're too stiff and it hurts. So I'm just going to take, you know, like light pressure here. And you can see if I go in really light versus I go in a little bit harder. And now I'm running out of product. But you get the idea. And then I just dipped it in once. It's really easy to use. Like, you can get a pretty good line pretty easily, pretty quickly with different pressures. You get different thicknesses. I had no problem using this. Like, it was super easy to do. So I do like that. You can, you know, make a wing. You can make eyelash. When I say make eyelashes, this is what I mean. I'm gonna show you really quickly. Just like, I'll just do like one. Back in the day, there was looks, and they still do it, where you literally like draw on eyelashes. The problem with doing this is twofold. One, if you have lines under your eyes, it's harder because you're drawing over lines. And two, if you don't do it right, it smudges all over your face. This actually sets down pretty well. I like these. I think they're pretty, I'm not gonna say they're waterproof. I'd say they're resistant. Yeah, that's what they say too. Water and transfer resistant. I agree. Waterproof is a different thing. And you don't necessarily want waterproof anyway, because there's some chemicals in waterproof that kind of freak me out sometimes. But anyway, yeah, I really like this. I think it's extremely good product. I like the blue because I think the blue would be a little bit different, a little bit more interesting, but I will also tell you that if I'm gonna use a gel eyeliner, it's probably gonna be black or brown. I used the brown today. I think it looks really good on the eye. If you're looking for something that's gonna set down and then you don't have to worry about it again, yeah, definitely gonna be these gel eyeliners versus a eyeshadow, because eyeshadows will smudge on a oilier eye. The eyeshadow is a softer look, but if you want something that's a little bit more specific, a little bit more structured, go with the gel eyeliner. And in my opinion, this is definitely easier to use than the pens. The reason the pens, people are always like, oh, well, a pen would be like a pencil. It should be easier. The thing is, though, with this, you can decide how much to pick up on your brush. The brush is made so that you can get into tiny little areas and sort of connect. So you could just do a little bit here, and a little bit here, and then a little bit here, and then draw a line, and then draw a line, and then connect them, which is easier in my opinion. I also like the way that this brush is made. It's easy to get all the product on without worrying that you're gonna, like, you know, get a super thick line. You see how these are all thin? Some have a little bit more pigment than others depending on pressure, but you don't have to worry about it being too thick. A lot of times with a liquid pen, it can be too thick on your eye, or at least I feel like it's too thick on my eye. So I really like this product. I think it's extremely good. I like the ability to have something that's going to stay on. And I'll probably use these more than I would use the pens that I have, just so you guys know. I don't think you'll see me wearing it all the time because, again, you still have to be a lot more patient with this than you do with an eyeshadow. But the thing about the eyeshadow, just again, or a pencil, is that those do tend to transfer more. This is unlikely to transfer. If you have somebody who has oily eyes and you have a lot of transfer, this is a really good choice. Okay, last but not least. So Laura Mercier sent me this and I was completely taken aback. A lot of times, you know, companies will ask me ahead of time if they can send me something. I got this in the mail and I had no idea that I was going to get it. And it's beautiful packaging. This is a beautiful box. I feel like I need to do something with the box because it's really nice. And then I will show you the inside, but it's a really beautiful, little book. And the history of Tinted Moisturizer and Laura Mercier. It was the first tinted moisturizer I ever used back in the 90s, late 90s. And really, Laura Mercier was the first to do that. Laura Mercier was the first to have a tinted moisturizer because in the 80s and 90s, there was foundation. And honestly, like the foundation I wore in the 90s, I didn't wear a lot of foundation. You know, I was in college and then I was in law school, but it was thick. I'm pretty sure it was the Estee Lauder, I forget the name now, but it was like double wear or something. It was a heavier foundation and my skin was pretty good. Like nobody's skin is perfect, but it was far better than it is now. And I wore a much heavier foundation because I had very few imperfections. So it actually looked fine. As you get older, in my opinion, less is more. And so when Laura Mercier came out with a tinted moisturizer, I tried it. It was like 98. It was a couple years after it came out. So she goes through 1996 to 2025 and talks about what this new iteration, here's the 1996, 2025, this thing is big, so it's kind of hard to hold up. But she talks about what this new formula is. And she said, the best gets better. Your favorite for the last 28 years just got an upgrade. Introducing you the latest from the pioneer of tinted moisturizer, our next generation tinted moisturizer, Natural Dewy SPF 30. This newest innovation is the perfect balance of skincare and makeup. Talks about Laura Mercier and what they did. We've kept everything you loved about the original formula, sheer to light buildable coverage, creamy texture, undetectable skin-like finish, and upgraded the formula to do even more for the skin. Raspberry leaf extract improves the skin hydration retention. Upcycled black grape pomace helps restore the skin's barrier and soften the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles over time. A prebiotic complex that helps strengthen the skin's microbiological barriers. Over time, the skin's tone and texture are improved, while SPF 30 protects from environmental aggressors. The number one thing you can do to get your skin to look as good as possible is to wear sunscreen or a huge hat. Seriously. Like, the sun will do more damage than anything else you do. The new way to flawless, natural-looking skin: 16-hour sheer to light coverage, 24-hour hydration, softer, smoother, brighter skin with every wear. They actually sent me 3 shades, and you'll see me putting it on. And you'll see I did one side of my face so you could kind of see what it looked like on the other side of my face. So I'm wearing 0N, which is silk. They also sent me 1C, which is cameo, and they sent me 1N, which is birch. I'll put all 3 on the back of my hand. And I was surprised at how much I like this. This is really good formula. So first of all, I'd say this is creamier than the formulas of old. I remember them being more watery than this. They are really lightweight. They don't feel like anything on the skin. They blended in, it blended in super easily. It looks fantastic. It has an excellent coverage. For me, I just swiped it on. I did not put a ton on at all. And I like a sheer-ish coverage. This is how it looks. You can see it's pretty thick because I mean it's not even running down, it's not running down my hand. So Tinted Moisturizer is a good, you know, it's moisture, like it's thick, not like a liquid. And I think that I'm actually a combination of shades. The 1N Birch is much too warm for me. That's the 1N. This is the 0N Silk, which is what I'm wearing. Which is what I think I am. It's almost like, it's got like a peach tone to it. This is the 1C Cameo. And you can see it is a much cooler, much more like the skin on the back of my hand kind of tone. So when I blend them in, the one that looks like it's my skin tone the most is the 0C. I'm sorry, 1C, which is Cameo. So that's 1C Cameo. 1C Cameo blends right in. The 0N Silk blends in, but it looks like you can see a little bit of something. And then the 1N Birch is definitely too warm. But the reason I went with the 0N Silk instead of the 1C Cameo is I feel like the skin on my face is pinker than everywhere else on my body because of the rosacea. So it neutralizes and blends more with my neck than the 1C Cameo does. However, I did use a little bit of the 1C Cameo under my eyes to give a little bit more of that coolness. So if you're one of those people who likes to sort of mix up their foundation, skin tints, sticks, whatever you call them, whatever you're using, to make like more of a contour type of thing or more of a brightening. So in other words, like for the Dior stick, for example, I use 0N. I want to buy 1C when it goes on sale, when I get a good enough sale, and do 1C through here and then 0N on the other parts of my face or something, and then take a deeper tone like a 2, maybe Too Cool or something like that, and use that as contour from Dior. I also have a great contour stick from Dior, but you get the point. So you could do the exact same thing with these tinted moisturizers if you want to go through the trouble. I could, because I have these, and Laura Mercier was kind enough to send them to me, I could use the 1C Cameo kind of through here as like a little bit of a cooler underneath my eyes, and then I could use the 0N everywhere else to kind of even out the pinkness, because I don't have pink under my eyes and I don't have pink here. I have pink here and here. So I could mix it up. But if I wasn't going to mix it up, I'd probably use the 0N all over my face because I just feel like it neutralizes the redness a little bit more and it goes with my neck. The exact match to my skin though is probably, it's probably 1C. It's probably 1C Cameo. So it depends again on what you want to do, but you can see the differences in the shades. I really like this Tinted Moisturizer. I've always liked the Laura Mercier. Like I said, I started using it late in the 90s, and I've always been somebody who likes a lighter, well, not always. For the last 20 years, I have liked a lighter coverage. This is extremely good and at a much better price point than a lot of the tinted moisturizers out on the market. This feels very comfortable. It sets down very well, but it's good for more mature, dehydrated, drier skin. I think anyone with a drier skin tone is really gonna like this. You have to find your shade, but I'm just really impressed. And again, Laura Mercier did not sponsor this video. They did send me the products, but if I hated them, I would just tell you. These are really good. I don't know if somebody with oily skin, however, would like these. I don't have oily skin, but I feel like these are very hydrating. And I always get a little nervous when there's skincare in a product that hydrates for somebody who has oily skin. It doesn't mean that when you have oily skin, you don't need hydration. You absolutely do. But you need something that can hydrate your skin without enhancing the oiliness of your skin. And that's not what this is. So my suggestion is normal to dry skin. Again, that's my thoughts. I am not by any means a esthetician or a dermatologist, but I'm just saying from what I've seen and how these things tend to work. So yeah, I really like the Laura Mercier new tinted moisturizers. I'm going to be using them quite a lot. Do I like it as much as the Lisa Eldridge and some other products? I'm going to have to keep testing. I'm going to do a video where I compare all of them, but it takes me a little while, and I've just started using this week, so I can't tell you that. But what I can say is off top, if you like Laura Mercier, this is a really good product. The price point is much more reasonable than, say, a Chantecaille or other brands that have tinted moisturizers. I really like it. The shades work perfect for me. So yeah, I'm thrilled that Laura Mercier sent it to me. So thank you very much. Jones Road gel eyeliners are really good. Probably the best that I've tried for a gel eyeliner. And I really like those. And everything else on my face is not new. So they're products that I've, come to love over the years. The newest of them is probably the Rare Beauty luminizer under the eye luminizer. I've talked about it before. I think it's a really good product. And the new packaging from Peau, their packaging is really beautiful. If you're somebody who's like a sucker for, limited edition packaging, pick it up because the camellia shade is really pretty and it's going to work on most people. So I think it's a really great shade. I don't have a perfume today because I want to talk about a perfume today. This is the Dior Bois Talisman. And the reason I want to talk about it first is that I have seen reviews about it, and I have heard that it smells a lot like By the Fireplace. And I own By the Fireplace. It's one of my favorites, actually, and it's a great winter scent. However, I have heard that it's not as sweet as that, and it's more woody, which is not what I was hoping for. I was hoping for, because it's Maison Francis Kurkdjian, I thought it was going to be like this outstanding, yes, woody, but like amazing new scent that was going to have a little bit more vanilla gourmand to it. And that's not what I'm hearing. Now, I still want to try it, and I will get, as soon as I can, I'll get a sample, but I'm not hearing great things. So, again, like if I try it and I love it, it doesn't matter what anyone else says, but I'm not going to go out and buy a $400 bottle just to find out that I don't like it. Like those days are over. So those days probably should have never been. But if anyone out there has it and you have any thoughts, or you want to send me a sample of it, I will be happy to send, in turn, a sample of anything that I have that you might be interested in. I'm always happy to do that anyway if you guys want a sample of something. But yeah, let me know, because I would be really interested in trying it. I haven't seen it anywhere around me, and I'm not traveling for a while, so it won't be in any other place where it is. But yeah, I've heard that it's not what I was hoping it would be. And of course the bottles are smaller. Instead of the 250 ml, it's now 200 ml. And it's the same price, so it's more expensive. And yeah, I've heard, mixed reviews, so would love to get your thoughts on that. it'll be interesting to see. I haven't really been like, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what it actually ends up being like. So that's it for today, guys. I thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. I hope to see you in another video really soon.